Okay, let's get started. Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to another Friday afternoon watercolor workshop. My name is Lorraine Maffa, and I am the programming coordinator at Loudoun County Public Library, and I'm hosting this program this afternoon. Feel free to send me any questions or comments you may have in the chat box, and I'll be happy to relay them to our artist. And it's my pleasure to introduce today's artist, Megha Mehra. She's an award-winning artist, and she paints beautiful realistic watercolor images and is just a wonderful teacher. She's been doing these classes with us for about 2 years, and I'm going to hand it over to her right now. Welcome back, Megha.
Thank you so much, Lauren. Hello, everyone. Happy Friday. Um, well, I think the last few weeks, somehow coincidentally, we're having paintings that are matching the outside weather. Today, well, it's super windy. So, yes, I can see some, I think it's perfect birds. So, we are, again, setting up the theme. And I really like this idea of painting this cage and everything because it's something unique and you can experiment so much with this. So that's what we're going to paint today. And I'll explain everything. And we really tried today to get a full screen so that everybody can see my colors and the painting. But somehow I think there's limitation with the WebEx. So we'll try that next time again. But for now, we'll do this painting. And before we get started, we need to draw things. So I'm sure you already had the link on the events page and you can get started with the drawing. Keep the drawing very, very simple. As you can see, just the skeleton. And you can see even the bird, it's just a shape. Okay, we are not getting the details of the eye, of the feathers, nothing, beak, nothing. So just keep it very simple. And as we paint, we can keep adding details. So go ahead and get the drawing started. And um, I'll let you know how to move forward with the next steps. If you have any questions, let me or Lauren know in the chat box and we'll help you out. So go ahead. I'll give you about 8 to 10 minutes to finish the drawing. And again, this painting, you can completely make it yours. If you see the reference picture, they're bluebirds, but if you see the picture on the events page, the birds are red. So feel free to choose whatever color bird you want to choose. It's super fun. So that way you can make it this your own painting. And even for the last 2 weeks previously, the workshop that we did, I got so many emails of people sending in their completed paintings for feedback. And it was so nice to see that they took the time, went back, and even saw the videos, rewatched the videos, completed the painting. So today, if you cannot finish the painting, you can watch the video again. Hopefully, it's being recorded. And yeah, send me your completed paintings and I'll give you a written feedback on it. Okay, 5 more minutes. There are not many colors in this painting, um, but you can add. You can add whatever you like. You can add yellows. You can add reds. You can add oranges. You can make one bird as one color and the other as other color. That way, it's fun experimenting your own painting. Okay, we'll start in about 3 minutes. If you already plan in advance to attend this workshop, you'll see I always upload the reference pictures online. Reason being, you can draw the subject in advance because drawing takes time. And I am also a very slow drawer. It takes time. So that's why I always keep the drawing ready. And it's always a good idea to finish the drawing in advance so you can just relax and uh, not be frustrated about the shapes and everything. Okay, so let's get started. Let's look at the reference picture first. And again, always compare it with your black and white to see how much color you need. Again, you can see a really amazing contrast here between the background and the subject. You can see how dark this whole bird feeder is, and these shadows and the bird, right? And the same way, how light this background is. So we're going to make sure that this contrast remains so that these birds and the bird feeder pop out. You want to make sure both the birds are not exactly, the same darkness. They need to have a little bit of variation, how dark or how light they are. And that will really keep one of the words as focal point. What do you want the bird to be? Which bird do you want to be the focal point? I think this bird would be better as a focal point because it's attached to the bird feeder, and this one is more isolated. So I think I'm going to make this bird more darker than this one. That's the plan. And again, colors, you can see what colors I'm going to choose. Mm, this can You can make this background the way you want. You can add browns, yellows, dark browns, blacks, anything that can make it look really fuzzy. Or you can put any colors you like. It doesn't matter. This has a lot of grays and blues, some browns, nice cerulean blue or some turquoise blue would look nice. And I'm also going to show how to make the texture to make it look like it's wood. It's going to be a lot of dry paint, and I'll show you how to use that. But for now, we're just going to collect all these minimal colors and whatever colors you want and get started. Okay. I don't think I'm going to do with the background first. I'll leave it at the end because again, once this is all wet, I won't be able to get into the painting and paint. So we leave the background later and work on this. If you see this bird feeder, this is the lightest part. So I'm going to keep it very, very light, okay? Which just means very less paint and more of water. So that's how we're going to start. And I'll try to show you my palette. I know I really want you to see how I pick colors and then paint, but we're just not able to get it on WebEx. But this is the blue I'm going to use. This is the kind of a black or the gray it looks, the brown. I have reds, I have other blues, and I'm going to probably use orange maybe to do one bird. And that's how I'm going to continue with my painting. So let's get started. So first, I'm going to choose a very really dull gray. Okay, this gray is from my tube, and I can show you how it looks. Wait. It's, oh wow, it's really, so you can see how light this is. So I'm going to keep it that color. Okay. If you'd like to add a tinge of blue into it, because I do see some color here, but I'm going to keep it super light. Okay. And we're going to go in sections. It's always a good idea to paint in small sections. One, you complete things. Two, it doesn't overwhelm you. Sometimes you can even put tape or cover it with some paper so that you don't see this huge, humongous painting that you need to complete. So small sections are always awesome. I'm going to do the same thing here. Put a wash of that same bit of gray mixed with the tinge of blue, maybe. Mostly gray, I think. And I'm just going to add a layer. And this middle layer is really light. I think I added the kind of blue that is really dull, but that's okay. I'm going to make sure and leave some small space in between the area here in between that is not so, it's almost like white, like scrubbed. continue that into the other area. Okay. I'll wait for you guys to catch up. A minute or so. I'm going to do the same thing here, keeping it really light because there are going to be more layers of paint underneath. Okay. And always keep looking at your black and white picture. You can always go ahead and add more color, but if you make it too dark, it's a pain to remove. Or what you have to do is you have to make the other layers dark. And that may sometimes not be very desirable, and it's not probably what you're looking for. So go slow, add paint. I'm going to do the same thing on the top. And you can see I'm just using one color now, which is okay. I will add more color. But I do see so much of this gray underwash beneath these layers. Okay. Continue with the same thing. And a little more darker here because I see it's already so dark. So I don't mind adding a little extra paint here. But definitely we need more layers. Yeah. I'll just wait for you guys to catch up. Then we'll move on to, we'll probably let this dry and move on to the bird maybe. Because definitely we need some layers there. Okay, let's move on to the bird now. We'll do this one first. Okay. And again, it's up to you what colors you want to choose. I'm thinking of going for orange maybe. Okay, so that's what I'm going to do. Take some orange and just go in this very light areas. I'm going to add some dark colors, maybe red into it, but for now, just keeping it very light. And I don't mind extending to the feather or the other areas because we're going to add some color on it. Excuse me. Or we could do some nice burnt sienna. But I don't mind going in some of these layers. You can see the layers will really pop up when you add some color. So I'm just giving it like an underpainting. And while it's wet, excuse me, maybe I can just add this beautiful burnt sienna, like brown. It's almost like a brown. Excuse me. And try to add some layers here. You can also add a bit of blue if you like. And I'm going to just go with the flow here. Adding some feathers. I'm just going on with the shape, okay? Just following a shape, not going too much into detail, just the shape. Maybe add some blue again. While it's wet, I'm taking this thick blue paint and adding it. Just taking some orange here again, giving it some glow. And see, you can just change the whole bird by adding in your own colors. You don't have to follow the whole photograph. Okay, I'll just wait so you guys can catch up. And then we can move on. This is almost drying, which is good. But we can still add a layer of bird here and then let this dry and move on with the others. Okay. Okay. Let's go back to this bird now. What color do you want to use? Well, you can use anything. How about we do red? And I'm going to do the same thing. Just keep it very, very light. Give a nice coat of red here. Okay. Okay. Let this dry so that this can, um, you know, give it a fresh coat, and then we can move on with adding colors. So how do we go about with the bird feeder again now? Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some nice blue and the turquoise blue or cerulean, and we're going to paint all the areas that has blues. I'll wait for a minute so that you can catch up. Okay, I'm just taking some of this blue here and painting a nice layer. Continuing the same pattern, I'm going to just find areas that needs a lot of blues here. And you can add some nice enough paint here because it's a dark layer. So definitely need good color. Same here, a few places. I'm just going to brush it here. You can even mix with some other blues, like a darker one maybe. Feel free to add your colors. Okay, so wait for 2 minutes so they can catch up. If you have any questions, please, please, please let us know. Okay. Same here. I'm going to go with some grays and some dark burnt sienna or browns. Give it a structure. Only when you add enough darks close to light areas, that area will pop up. If you don't, it's not going to pop up. It's just going to look very flat. I'm going to add some brown here. Wherever I see some darks, I'm going to add those dark areas, and I'll show you how to go for the next layer, because this layer, the next layer will become very important. Almost you can say like the final layer for some of the areas. So I already got some layers of dry paint. Let me show you how to use dry paint. When you're doing dry painting, it's dry on dry, which means the paper is dry and the paint is dry. I've removed most of the water from my paintbrush. See, it's quite dry. I'm going to take a thick paint and I'm going to just scrub it on the paper, and you can see the amount of pressure I put and how light I do, and it usually makes a noise. So this is dry painting, and this is what gives texture to watercolors. And some more areas here where I can do some dry paint. I took some gray here. Okay. Now for this area, it's a bit wet. Let's wait. Let's go to the bird now. As you can see, we still need to uh, do some of the feathers. So again, you can either choose a really dark red, you can mix it with some uh, blues or something, and you can go about it. And I'm just going on with the flow as I see the feather. Some I'm making really dark, adding some blue. You can add any color. Yeah, it's almost turning into purple actually because I'm mixing red and a blue together. That's okay. I just want a darker tone of red. I'm just going to continue adding some nice reds again here, making it really dark. And some a little more red here and there to let it pop out a little bit. My whole point is to really make some darks so that the bird pops out. Okay. Okay, that's good now. Okay, so I'll wait for like 2 minutes and then we'll get into the feeder and last the background. So we're almost done actually. That's not bad. We can finish in 20 minutes. Yeah. Okay. So let's get into more dry painting now. I'm going to use a different brush now, as you can see. It's a flat brush, so they can really make these marks here. Okay, so you can go with a really nice dark color, maybe black, purple, brown, and oh, that's too dry. Okay, you can see I'm just scrubbing the paint vertically. I think I might need some more blue here, but that's okay. For now, I'm just going to stick to those areas and do some dry painting. So using a smaller, this kind of brush gives me more control, and I can just move it in small areas. Because with a pointy brush, you won't get that flexibility. I'm going to do some blue here. And this area is really dark, nice shadow area. And then we'll keep some blue mix with some grays and blacks. And just look at the drawing picture. You don't have to go all the way in. Just some areas. Same way. To the other areas. Taking nice blue. Maybe need some water. I think I missed that hole there, but I'm going to just do it manually. If you find too much water in your brush, then just scrub it on a waste paper. And see, the amount of pressure also matters. If you're really light, then you get these very light strokes. You can see that now the texture is starting to come together. It kind of feels like something that has a texture feeling, like rough feeling. Okay. Wherever I can, I'm going to do that. I'll wait for you guys. I'm going to finish this oval shape here with some dark blue. It's not black exactly. And I'm going to go back again in with some dark areas, some burnt sienna maybe. Give it some texture, some structure here. Some places are darker, so it needs a bit of definition. Same here, needs some definition here. Okay. Can add a bit of blue. And in this area, I definitely need some blue. It's a bit darker, so yes, need some blue. Okay. So okay, I'll wait for you guys, and then we'll see what if we need to finish anything with the bird. And if that's done, then we can move on to our background. Textures are fun because some part is so easy. You just need a flat brush and you can keep going in with some dry paint. You don't have to worry too much about the water and everything. So that's a fun element. Just adding some color to the bird. Okay. Okay, almost done. We just have to do the background, and the background will be fun, I think. I'll show you some technique that hopefully, it'll work. So in 2 minutes, we'll start. Hopefully the layers are dried here. And I'm going to use the colors like browns, maybe oranges a little bit, dark browns, maybe a little bit of blue, and we'll see how it goes. But all the colors that we use in the painting, those are the colors I'm going to use. But you can choose anything. You can keep it just plain white. You can do anything you like. Okay. So here we go. We're going to first wet the paper around the subject. I'm just taking some clean water with a big brush and carefully around the subject, putting a lot of water. You can use a big brush, small brush, whatever works for you. Right now my water is also not clean. It's all muddy with so much color, but that's okay. It's the background. Okay. And I'm just going to pick up some colors. Just throw in here and there. Let's just have fun here. I mean, there is no rule here. And let's see how things turn out. I am just doing this on purpose because I just feel it's going to give some different kind of character to the painting. I don't mind a bit of blue here and there. Okay. You can see the colors are all just mingling and dancing around and just. Now, I wish I could have lifted my painting because I wanted some of these colors to flow, but I can show you. I'm just taking a spray bottle. It has this plain water and just trying to move some of the color. You see that? And I know right now I'm supposed to just take the painting and move the colors around. Right now, because I cannot, this pooling here, I'm just taking a brush and wiping it around. Okay. I lost some color, so I'm just going to sprinkle some here with some brush. But this way, do you see how I was able to soften some of the things without putting a lot of brush work into this? Okay. So this is one way where you can, play with a lot of color, water. It's almost like playing at the beach. So much fun. But I'll show you next time, lifting my painting and see how that color moves. Maybe I can show you here. If I put some color and maybe add 3-4 colors here, and I can show you how this moves. Do you see that? It's just moving. You can make it move in any direction you want. Okay. And then keep it flat the way you want it to behave. But this is really fun way. You also want to lift some color. You can take some napkin, take out some color if you don't like it. It's a Kleenex, but this is one way you can lift some color if you don't like it. You want it more muted, but that's one more way. Okay, so this way you can play around a lot with the background. Other than that, I think we have covered most of the stuff. And I can see, because I couldn't lift up my painting, some of the color got into the bird. It started bleeding, which is fine. I let it dry and add some more paint on it. But you have to be careful with this technique. You have to make sure you cover everything, or you do the background first. But next time I'll show it in a small painting how to actually move it around. Any questions, please let us know. I think we're done with the painting, and you can keep adding layers if you feel it's still not there. You can add some more dry paint with colors, different colors here. So that'll look really great. You can even add a bit of red in this bird cage. That'll look very nice. But I hope you enjoyed this painting, and keep practicing. That's the only way to get better. That's how I got better. There's no shortcut for it. The more you paint, the better you get. And thank you so much again, everyone, for joining on this cold, windy Friday. But the good news is spring is almost here.
Looks beautiful, Megha.
Thank you.
As always. I love the way that you were able to capture that, especially that one bird in flight. You could really the action there. Beautiful colors too. I hope you all enjoyed the program. Please do send your art to Megha so she can see what you've done, and she'll share it with me as well. Megha, let me type your address again. What is it?
It's
Megha?
meghawatercolor@gmail.com.
That's right. Okay. All right. Any questions before we end the program? I will let you know that Megha will be back with us on March 18th. Actually, March 4th.
March 4th, yes.
March 4th for another watercolor program.
Yeah, we have 2 in March.
Yeah. I don't know if you gave me the image for that yet, Megha.
I did. You have everything.
Okay. Let's see what that's going to be. Okay, yes, March 4th, we're going to paint a really cute caterpillar. And on March 18th, we're going to paint some Easter eggs.
Yes, I'm excited to paint egg.
Beautiful. Yeah, those are so pretty. Blues and greens in those. All right, everybody. Well, we'll see you next time. Thanks again for joining us. Bye-bye.
Bye, everyone. Thank you.